next topic today for how to start homesteading or where to start if you are interested in bees. So you got some of the other things going and maybe you want to bring bees and be a beekeeper. Here are my top tips for being a beekeeper. I am going on my 5th year, and we are buying 3 nukes or nucleuses of bees this year because this sounds terrible, but I lost all my hives. I went into the winter with 6 hives. And I just lost my last one, and I have no idea why. And it's kind of a very scary thing, but we have all the equipment. My husband's like, no, it's so beneficial for the land to have honeybees on. And even if I don't even harvest any of the honey, they're just so beneficial. We have seen, it took about 2 years, definitely on that 3rd year, but that 2nd year, everything got pollinated so much more. Because the bees were out just foraging like nuts on all this stuff, the apple trees, all of the garden, everything like that. They just were doing such a great job. So at that 2nd or 3rd year, you will see how it'll change your dynamic of your pollination rate of all the good stuff, right? All the amazing stuff. So if you're into bees or you want to get started, that is just a fabulous reason. And we all know that we need all those wonderful pollinators doing their jobs, right? So here's my top tips for newbies. Start with 2 hives. And I learned this from a great teacher up in the UP. So if anybody's from the UP, he's in Newberry, Bee-Wise Farms. He was a great teacher. I went to a couple of his classes and really helped me out back in 2020. And he said, start with 2 hives. And I highly recommend that because you can compare the 2 hives when you are working with them. And if one, say the queen dies or something happens or they get depleted of the resources, you can at least combine them so you can go into the winter with one and then you don't lose that one even though you combined it. So start with 2. That way you can kind of compare what's going on or what kind of they should look like, right? Purchase nukes or nucleuses, which is, like a nucleus of a cell or something, like the whole entire thing is packed inside there. So you get them in a box and it has a mated queen and it has your worker bees, your guard bees, and it has brood in there, which is baby brood, little eggs and stuff like that as well. So you've got like the whole dynamic of what you need. You have to pick those up, you bring them home safely, and then you put them into your own equipment. So purchase nukes. You can purchase packages. And I have never done that before because I kind of want, up here, especially in northern Michigan, I still recommend anywhere, but you can do some research on it. But like here in northern Michigan, we have such a narrow time frame for the bees to even grow their comb and collect all the resources so they can eat the honey during the winter and stuff like that. That the nukes are a little more established, so they have a little bit better chance. That's what I kind of feel like. Always wear your bee suits. I have gone down to the bees a couple times and I think, I'll just move this or just do this or do that. And that guard bee comes out and does not like me. And I have gotten it pretty good before. So always wear your bee suit. Don't go down there thinking you're a hero. So that's what I suggest. Or you have a little PTSD like sometimes I do. So I have to kind of get over that. I'm still going to be a beekeeper. Trust me. I absolutely love it. And it's amazing to go into the hive. The world kind of disappears when you're hanging out with the bees in the hive. So stay calm is my next one. Have your smoker ready at all times. And putting your hive where you're going to put your hives. Location is really important. Don't put them in the woods. You can put them on the edge of the woods, but don't put them in the woods. They need a clear, good pathways to come in and out of their hive, and it would be dark for them and they would probably get a little confused. And they like to, if you're going to go into your hive, make sure it is a sunny, pretty calm day, not cloudy or threatening of rain or anything like that, or really windy. They'll be a little more feisty. There'll be more of them will be in the hive instead of out foraging and happy. So you're kind of taking it's a little more riskier and a little more chances going on that. And dare I say that these bees are actually smarter than us. They are brilliant. They are so cool. They are so self-sufficient. They're just amazing little things. In the springtime, this is just one example. In the springtime, the hive starts to get a little too big, and they're going to outgrow it. So they're going to take the queen might leave, or she'll kick half the bees out, and then they go find a new home somewhere. But prior to that, you can actually split them up yourself, and that second hive will raise their own queen, knowing that that queen is no longer with them, and then you have another hive for free. So that's kind of like a little tip. You know, you don't do that your first year, you do that your second and third year and stuff like that, which can get out of control because then you can end up with like a lot of hives. But or sometimes they just leave and you can't catch them, or you can catch a swarm, which I've done when I've seen them leave my hive and they land on a tree right there. I can go catch that swarm, which is a whole phenomenal, cool thing, right? It's amazing. These things are so cool. So as a side note for, it's a funny thing. I think you can do this about for what I've realized about anything, but if you ask 5 beekeepers a question, you're going to get 5 different answers. So keep that in mind. Do what feels right to you. I take a very natural, laid back approach to beekeeping. Some people take a very hands-on approach to stuff. I just, you know, I know that they're smarter than me. I just kind of want them around. I don't really want to go in and bother them a lot. So we kind of just have like that, you know, that kind of relationship. So that's a little bit about bees. If you are in Northern Michigan or would like to come up to Northern Michigan, which is absolutely beautiful in the summertime, I am teaching an introduction to beekeeping class where I'm going to talk about all of the top tips, and then we're going to I'm going to show how the hive gets put together, what equipment you need, how much it costs, which is pretty expensive. It's an expensive hobby, that's for sure. Then and then we're going to go into the hives as well. If you don't have a bee suit, that is not a problem at all. I'm going to take the frames out and I can bring them over to the group who doesn't have a bee suit, and you'll be able to see very safely. Unless you like have anaphylactic shock or whatever that is, with allergic, I would not suggest doing this, but I'll show you the frame. You can see the bees moving around. You'll be able to see the eggs and stuff like that. It's really cool. So that is in June. If you are in the area or know somebody who would like to come learn, it's $40. It's really affordable introduction to beekeeping class. And it's kind of really good to see what you're getting into before you start to invest in the bees, because each nucleus is like $200. And then of course you've got your hive equipment, and then you need your bee suit. So there's a good cost on that. So feel free to come to that class. I have a very intensive organic gardening class series that I'm doing. There's an introduction to gardening where I'm going to walk you through all the planning and take the fear out of gardening and just kind of set you up for success. But then there's a tier 2 and a tier 3 where you actually come back to my homestead with me. We continue learning very, very hardcore on the topics of gardening. And we're going to be actually out in the garden itself where we look at every single thing. So we're going to identify pests. We're going to learn exactly how to trim tomatoes. Guys, I have been gardening for a very long time. I did not grow up like this. Like, I want to make sure I preface that. But I've been gardening for a really long time, and I dare say I'm very successful at it. I can grow the crap out of some stuff. So this year I'm really taking that deep dive of gardening with my students, and we're going to be physically in the garden and not just talking theory. Because what I've seen when I've done homestead tours, just walking through the garden, kind of chatting about it, these light bulbs go off and they know exactly what they need to go do. And take that and go to their own gardens and do that right at home. So we're going to be, like I said, we're going to be actually sitting and doing and looking and observing and talking and discussing. And then they take all that knowledge and they go home. And then the last class will be even including some seed saving as well. So you can understand the concept of seed saving, and you'll actually have access for the tier 3 people. Everyone will have access to my online gardening courses, which include all my workbooks, but also the canning preserving one, seed starting, seed saving, all the courses, all the good stuff like that. So that's the tier 3. Plus there'll be some great giveaways that I'll be able to do for the tier 3 people. I'm really excited about. I have a lot of online courses too. So if you're not able to come to Northern Michigan, lots of free resources. The whole resource page that I'm going to link to is going to have a lot of free resources. It's also going to have some paid courses as well, like my gardening intro to herbs, seed starting to seed saving, all kinds of just wonderful things that you can learn at your own pace for the Michigan area and beyond. And then I also have an Etsy shop that sells some of my healing salves, my lip balms, great gift sets that have sold really well. And I make this lard soap that let's deviate for the lard soap real quick. This dawned on me the other day, and I was so excited about this. So I make this lard soap, which sounds like, oh my gosh, you're rubbing a pig on yourself. I've heard that from people, but then they end up absolutely loving the soap. You know who you are. But it's not, you're not rubbing a pig on yourself. Lard is actually very nourishing and moisturizing and everything like that. But what's cool and dawned on me is that we raise the pigs here. We actually breed the pigs here. We raise the pigs here. And they're all done organically. We do USDA certified organic feed. And we're very prudish again. That's unapproved, right? And then we butcher them here. And then we harvest and butcher. And then I take their lard, I render their lard, and then I make soap out of it. Talk about a really cool full circle thing. Like, so this little cute little bar of soap is like amazing. Actually, I'm going to grab some right here. So here are the lard soap that I have. These are, I call them piggy soaps. And there's this really cute little emblem on there for piggy soap. These, I have them a couple different scents, and I use organic essential oil, and some are plain as well. So the black one, I actually have added activated charcoal in there, so it can not only nourish you, but it's also drawing out the impurities as well. So that's why that's black. And then we have the white. I don't like to use dyes or anything like that. I just want something pure and simple that works very effective. So that's really cool on my Etsy shop as well. And I'll put some stuff on sale for a very limited amount of time for those who just can take, since I wasn't able to be there in person to sell the stuff, I'll make sure that stuff's on sale so you can, if you're interested in it as well. And then I think the last thing is my cooking club. So I have an online cooking club. This is designed for kids, but honestly, I think if you just didn't grow, I'm hearing from parents that they're doing it with their kids, that they didn't grow up from scratch cooking. And now they are learning alongside their kids. And that to me is so invaluable. I really can't put a word on how amazing that is. But from scratch cooking is amazing. And that's all I do. Every meal, every day is from scratch, mainly from our ingredients here on the homestead. So that is an online cooking club. There's 10 different modules with over 70 different videos with step-by-step directions, everything from cracking an egg to entire family dinners that you and your child, and you can even at a certain age, your child can actually go through this whole entire curriculum by themselves and do the whole thing and then start making dinner for you. How cool is that, right? That is not a negative at all in my mind. So that's an online cooking club as well that I'm really passionate about. And if you're into homeschooling, add that to your homeschooling curriculum and you've got winner everything for dinner. So I guess in closing, thank you for listening to me. I hope that you took some notes, and yes, you can hear my dogs barking. I apologize for that. But I hope you took some notes. I hope you understand that starting at step number 1, your step number 1 is going to be different than anybody else's step number 1. So just pick a cool topic and start to do it. Dive into my resource page that I gave you. Dive into whatever resources else that you can find from other speakers or people that you connect with or your local community. So just thank you and appreciate you. And again, ask questions. It really fills my cup when I know that I have that you have a question or that I've made an impact. I would love to hear oh my gosh, thank you for talking about this today and giving me a glimpse of hope or a glimpse into this or that. I would absolutely love to hear that. And thank you, 𝒍𝒊𝒌𝒆, for having me speak at your event, even if it wasn't in person because of the ice that's coming or that's here. I hope the weather is good and safe for you guys as well. So thank you for having me speak. Appreciate you and welcome to Home.